Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, we're joined by Rick Velotta. He is the tourism and gaming reporter for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. It's a 50,000 square foot hardware store and a whole lot more. It's your spring headquarters with lawn and garden supplies, power equipment, and outdoor living. Big R on Bering Boulevard in Sparks next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. Big R, hardware, and a whole lot more.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Rick Velotta. He is the tourism and gaming reporter for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. We're taping this on Thursday, the 15th of June, so people have a concept of a time frame. So this is right after the Golden Knights' victory in the Stanley Cup.
Go Knights, go! Amazing.
What's your thoughts on the public reaction to this?
It's been off the charts. People, I cover a lot of public meetings, and the people at the public meetings are wearing all the gear, and they're doing chants in the middle of the meeting and things like that. I went to something this morning where they were chanting for the Knights. This is going to have a nice lift to the community, I think, and I also think that it's going to make a lot of enthusiasm for next season as well. So that's the hope, I think, that everybody wants to get really excited about the Knights and what they accomplished and to see if they can do it again.
It really has been just remarkable. Now, at the same time, we're talking about this. The A's got their deal, at least through the Senate and the Assembly, as we are sitting here doing this interview. No doubt that the governor will sign the bill. What are your thoughts on that and all the brouhaha that's gone on with the movement from the Wild West site with station casinos, and then a couple of weeks later that goes away and suddenly the deal is at Tropicana?
It's been a very interesting thing to watch because I think for the longest time felt like this was just a leverage play to stay in Oakland. But as things progressed, it appeared to me, and I don't have any inside knowledge about how the negotiations went, but it seemed to me that it progressively went toward, we want to get out of Oakland, and that's why there was so much emphasis on finding absolutely the right location in Las Vegas. I think that the A's chose that Tropicana site for basically the same reason that the Raiders chose the site where Allegiant Stadium is right now, because of the beautiful sight lines that you have to the Strip, and they want to make sure people know that this team is in Las Vegas, and everything that you see in terms of the renderings that have been produced for the stadium would indicate that, this is going to be, there's just going to be no doubt in anybody's mind where these games are being played. I think Steve Hill from the LVCVA said this site has the potential of being the best place in the world to watch a baseball game, and he may be right.
It's extraordinary. The Oakland local government just seems to be a disaster, even though this is a new government because they replaced their government in the last election cycle, but they just can't cut a deal. I mean, that was a $12 billion development that went in the tank.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder about the A's management too, in terms of how they went about lobbying to get what they wanted to have here. It just seemed that they were very low on compromise. We saw it in the legislature when some of this was being debated, in terms of things that they could have said or done that may have made the path a little easier for them. As it turned out, the legislature did a pretty good job, I thought, in terms of writing into the legislation some of the things that they really wanted regarding community benefits, things like that. So that to me was, it turned out to be a better scenario than I think most people would have anticipated. There's still going to be people who are mad that there's any kind of public money going towards a stadium. But the fact is that it's the taxes are not going up under this plan, that the way they've put it together, and they are going to be taking advantage of some of the existing legislation that we have in terms of getting some of the things that they want.
Do you think, as you read other coverage around the country of this deal, that the national media still has no idea what being in Las Vegas can mean for anything, but especially now we know sports?
Yeah, I think that it's like one of those situations where you have to actually experience it once or twice to really get it, because, and I know that most people out there know that there's more to Las Vegas than just these sports teams that are out here, and that's the sales point that the LVCVA always puts together, is that, okay, you're going to come out to a game, or in terms of baseball, maybe you'll come out for a series to see your favorite team. We're going to market you really heavily if you're from Philadelphia. If you're a Phillies fan, we're going to get some marketing to Philadelphia when you come out here. People in Chicago are going to come out here. And there's just a lot more dots on the map where Las Vegas can market. Once they get people sold on the idea of coming here for a baseball game or a series of games, then they say, oh, by the way, we've got these restaurants, we've got these great resort amenities, we've got a great natural landscape around Las Vegas. This is a place to go for not just a baseball game, but to come for a bunch of other things. And I'm sure that's what everybody's looking forward to.
See, this is one of the reasons I love having you come on the show, because you spark other things in me, which I hadn't thought about, which is that when people complain about the number of baseball games, that you have the convention authority and the industry itself, the hotel industry, that can do direct point-to-point advertising to these markets. And you have all these low-cost airlines that are flying into Las Vegas now, but you also have Caesars, and they have a charter airline working for them. And so that almost reminds me of the old Reno Air that the Rio and Harris put together years ago.
Right.
That was only, back then it was $30 million to start an airline, a little bit more than that now. But you really could maximize the efficiency of those 80 games by doing that direct advertising.
Certainly. And that I'm sure that's something that 81 game home season that's a tough sell when you just say 81 games. But then when you break it down by the cities, and Major League Baseball did a really great thing as far as Las Vegas is concerned by assuring that every team plays every other team at least one series a year, a season. We wouldn't have necessarily the National League teams here on a regular basis, but we would have them every other year. So that's going to help in terms of the marketing of the team as well, and marketing of Las Vegas by inviting some of these people from some of the places that you wouldn't necessarily think of as being good markets, like Kansas City or Tampa Bay or Miami. You know, getting those people excited to come see their teams play in Las Vegas, experience one of the what looks like it's going to be one of the best venues in Major League Baseball.
Right.
That's going to be something that people will pay attention to.
One of the other things that people have been raising as a negative is that Las Vegas is number 40 in terms of market size for television, whereas the Bay Area is in the top 5 markets. And you know, what they don't understand is, and that we've known in the political arena for a long time, Las Vegas is a huge market cost-wise. It's not an inexpensive place to market. I mean, I just got a proposal from one of the local stations for covering the parade that's going to be out there for the Golden Knights, and it's $5,000 a commercial for a parade. So there's no shyness. During political campaigns, they're charging $23,000 for a spot on Wheel of Fortune. So just because it says market size 40 doesn't mean to say we don't charge like a major market.
Right, and you see that in the hotel rooms as well.
What?
Some of the,
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Some of the, you know, and I suspect that when Formula One is here in November, that we're going to see the highest hotel room rates we've ever seen. I mean, you can almost predict that that's the way it's going to go, because some of the packages are so they're expensive too. But the people who are coming to support Formula One are the people who can't afford it, and they want to see it. They want to see with this experience of a race on the Strip at night, and they'll come. They'll pay whatever is necessary to do it. So. I'm going to be probably watching it on television. I won't be able to afford to go to some of these things, but at the same time, this is going to be something that will boost up the entire community, because we'll be collecting taxes, we'll be seeing some of our businesses prosper because Formula One is in town, and that's the general good thing about having this here. I mean, the traffic, all the stuff with the roads now, it's very inconvenient. People are not happy about some of that, but we're hoping it's all going to be worthwhile when it comes November and we see people coming here to spend money.
It's not hurting that Netflix is running their Formula One series on the air right now as the latest season. And one of the things that intrigued me was looking at the caliber of sponsors of Formula One. It's like air racing. It's all of the most high-end products that you could possibly imagine.
And then one other little wrinkle in this thing is that, of course, the course goes around the sphere, and that's going to be something that people will want to take a look at. I had a great opportunity to see some of the insides of what's happening with Sphere Productions this past week, and that element itself is going to produce some new excitement, because they have that what they call the exosphere, where you can put programmed content on the outside of the building that people are going to be taking pictures of that and putting it online all the time. So all this free marketing for Las Vegas because of an idea, and a private company that came in decided to do something innovative in terms of entertainment.
You know, this was the first time when I've flown into Las Vegas where the sphere has been completed enough where you can totally see it. Man, that is huge.
It is huge. It kind of defies imagination with 17,600 seats inside, the prospect of having 20,000 people inside, you know, with some standing room and other things going on, and then the visuals inside and the sound system inside. Nothing like it exists right now. We're going to be seeing something that people have never seen before or heard before, and I think that's what excites me the most.
And it's costing more than Allegiant Stadium cost to build.
That is true. And I should point out that this is not anything that
publicly funded.
Public has to worry about. Certainly the Madison Square Garden people are nervous about it, and their shareholders are nervous about it. But the reality is once they have that building open and they start having these presentations in there, U2 coming in first, it's going to probably be a moneymaker that will be that will be beyond anything that we've seen before in this town.
Do you think that there is a danger for Madison Square Garden, that the cost of this, if it doesn't go right, could potentially bring down the company?
I guess that's always a fear, and it's a possibility. I think that MSG has some pretty deep pockets, and they have got some resources. I'm not sure that they are going to be able to fulfill some of their dreams and their plans in the future of developing and building multiple Sphere buildings around the world, which would be good for us, right? Because we're going to have it, and if it takes time for them to build elsewhere, then that's a good thing for Las Vegas, because then we'll be the only place to have something like this. So if it flops, which I have a hard time believing that it would.
I agree.
But if it does flop, that's going to be a big problem for the company. But again, they have a lot of resources, a lot of they have a network. They have the Knicks. They have the Rangers. They have Madison Square Garden.
Well, and they sold off that huge restaurant chain that they had.
Right.
To be able to help fund this as well.
Sure.
So at least we know they're going to get it done. That's for sure.
Yes, that's definite, and they'll be opening it up in September.
And U2 is not a bad opening act. Let's take a break. More with Rick Velotta when we come back.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes. Many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed Northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving Northern Nevada one industry at a time.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Rick Velotta. He covers tourism and gaming for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. So you went down to Burbank to see the studios for the Sphere that Madison Square Garden is building on the Las Vegas Strip, which is, as I said, a stunning building. Share what you can about what you saw down there.
Well, one of the reasons why they built this in Burbank was because it's close to Hollywood. All these film directors, producers have ideas on what they can do on film that could be a possible feature film in the sphere. So what they have built there is something that they call Big Dome, and it's a geodesic dome. It's 1/4 of the size of the MSG sphere here, and inside they have screens that are proportional. So what they can do is shoot footage and actually put it on a screen to get the impact of what it's going to be like in the sphere here. So I only saw a few previews of what they have conceptually put together. They haven't shown any footage of what they're actually going to be putting in their first presentation, which is called Postcard from Earth. So I don't know exactly, but some of the images that they presented and the use of a new camera, which they call codename Big Sky, they are able to actually use this camera to go out and capture footage without having to splice it all together, which is what they did before. What they did was they had an array of cameras. I think there were 11 cameras. They were all pointed in different directions, and they would have it on one platform, and they'd take it into an environment and shoot video. Then when they were done in post-production, they would have to splice it all together in order to make the images that are going to be appearing on this massive screen that's going to be above, beyond, behind, and all around you. Then they are going to be adding features like temperature, humidity, smell, sense, and so it's going to be an experience that's very immersive, and it's not just a film. It's going to be something that's quite a bit beyond that. The sound system, as I mentioned before, off the charts. I saw a demonstration where what they did was they have what they call beam forming, and what that means is if you can imagine a laser beam, if you point a light laser at some point, you're going to see something on the other end, right? Well, they can do the same thing with sound, and they can direct it. So one of the things that they can do, it's right next to a big convention center, right? The Venetian Expo Center is right there. What they can do is have corporate presentations, and they can seat people of various languages around different places in the sphere, and they can send English over here, German over here, Japanese over here, and you don't even need any kind of headphones to hear it. It just comes in directly. You can just hear exactly what is being said in whatever language you're sitting in.
And one thing we should add here is that they are going to do multiple presentations a day. So beyond the concerts and things like that, it will be a place where people can buy a reasonably priced ticket to be able to go and see this.
If you consider like $65 reasonable, that's about what it's going to start
Let's
at.
talk about that when we come back.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Rick Velotta. He's the tourism and gaming reporter for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. So you said right before we went to the break that $65 is not necessarily considered an inexpensive trip. And that's one of the concerns about Las Vegas right now. I believe it was one of the heads of Caesars said on a business call you were probably listening to in the last week or so, that we're seeing a change in the market. We're going more to a higher level spend market. What does this do to the bottom end?
That's a very good question, Sam, because I think that Las Vegas is always being, pitched as a value destination.
Used to be.
Yeah, but right now, it's a value destination if you can afford it.
Right.
So, and like we talked about before, the prices of rooms going up. Some of the things that are around town, I mean, they're great. I would love to be able to do it. Go to a Knights game. How much is a ticket for that during the playoffs? It was, way beyond what most people would be willing to pay. But a lot of people look at it as a bucket list thing, and I think that maybe we're going to be seeing a lot more bucket list type visits to Las Vegas with some people who are willing to spend the money just because it's the only time that they're going to have a chance to do something like what they're going to be doing. But then in the meantime, we're going to be seeing more people who are wealthier that are going to be coming. The demographic is going to change quite a bit. But that's part of what the evolution of Las Vegas is all about, I think.
And that's where we have to leave it. Rick Velotta, never enough time. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Tim.
And we'll be right back. Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Hi, I'm Renee Summer, our digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.